Hi everyone, this is Erica from Confessions of a Homeschooler, and I have a new Lapbook literature unit to share with you today, and I'm really excited. This one is super fun. It's Robinson Crusoe, and my son just finished reading this book and he said it was like one of the best ones he's read. So if you are interested in seeing what's inside, stick around and we'll be right back. So first up, I just wanted to mention that we are using the Classic Starts version of this novel, and it's best for younger readers, I would say elementary level students, and these really put some of our classic novels in more readable terms for your kiddos. And then in the very back of them, they also include comprehension questions and also some more critical thinking questions. So that's what we're going to be using for this, so let's get started. And all of my units also come with an activity guide or a teacher's manual, and it basically just tells you what to do. It tells you how to prepare your lap book. It tells you any supplies that you'll need, which for most of them it's really just this study guide and the book, and then the file folders for the lap book if you choose to do a lap book. And then it also tells you what to do as your child reads through each chapter. So for example, in this one they'll read chapter 1. They're going to prepare the lap book since it's brand new. They're also going to complete mini book 1, and then there's questions for them. So for example, in this one it says, what did Robinson's father want him to be? And the answer was a lawyer. And the other question is, what did Robinson want to do with his life? And he wanted to be a sailor and see faraway lands and have adventures. So the questions and answers are in the teacher's manual, so that it makes it really easy for you. If you have your student doing these individually, makes it easy for you to check their work without having to read the book ahead of time, or read it with them, or try and skim it for the answers. So I try and make it as easy as possible for you to do this with your children without having to do a lot of preparation work in the beginning. And so these instructions are the same for every chapter that they read. This particular one, I think I mentioned, has 30 chapters, so there's quite a bit on this one. I also just wanted to quickly show you that they do come with instructions on putting the lap book together itself, and there's also videos on my channel you can look at as well. So as you can see, there's just a fun cover that your students can color, and this is just a regular trifold lap book. And then this particular book actually had quite a few chapters, and so I'll try and show you, but there are we had to do 2 inserts. So I did one flip up and then actually another flip up, and you could have taped it along this side and then opened it like this way like a book, but we just kind of went for a vertical fold. But anyways, I do have a link on how to make this lap book, so I'll link that below just so that you can see it. But as you can see, as your student reads through the chapters, there is a mini book for each chapter that they read, and then each chapter has comprehension questions that they will fill out inside each of these mini books. They also come with teacher's manuals, so you know what your child has been reading and whether or not they have actually understood, comprehended what they've read. Okay, so that's the inside of the lap book. And then if you fold it up and just flip it over, I've added an extra pocket on the back, and I just cut another file folder just in half and taped it along these 3 edges. I like to use tape because it gives the full width of the pocket, whereas glue and staples will kind of take up some of that space. So in the back we keep all of our reports, and these also come with my unit. This first one is a prediction worksheet. So the student will take a look at the cover of the book and just kind of answer a few questions about what they think it's about, when they think it takes place, what they think it might happen. And that just is a great way to kind of talk about judging books by their cover, and it's a fun activity to see how close their prediction was to what actually happened when they're done reading. The next one is a literature timeline, and this is really just a storyboard, and you can print out as many sheets of this as you need, but I have them just draw pictures or write just some of the main events as they're reading through the story. So they fill this out independently. I don't tell them, okay, do this, unless you need to kind of guide your student through that. But as they read, they just pick whatever they think is the most, kind of monumental event, and then they'll just add it to their timeline. And then another one that they'll fill out throughout the chapter reading is just a few facts about the story. So this one talks about the setting, the plot, the main character, and then maybe their favorite things so far about the story, and there's a spot for them to draw a picture. And then this one will be a little bit later on in the reading, and it talks about the protagonist, antagonist, the problem that's between them, and a solution. And then there's also a spot for illustration. And that's just great for getting them used to this kind of vocabulary and recognizing what those terms are. And then they all come with a final book report where they list the author, the illustrator, they do a summary of the book, and then they do their report on it, their thoughts on the book. And then there's also a place for an illustration for them as well. And then one final thing that I've started including is a book versus movie report. And so some of the units you can find movies for, some of them you can't. But if you can find an age-appropriate movie for the unit, it's a great way to compare the book to the movie. So they'll write down similarities, differences, what they thought about the characters that were chosen for the movie, if they fit, you know, what your student was thinking as they were reading, and then also which version they liked better. So again, we just keep all of these reports in this pocket back here in the back, and it just makes it a nice way to kind of keep it all together and store it. Now, I had a lot of people ask about notebooking. You could certainly just put all of this in a notebook, you know, obviously hole punch these and put them in a notebook, and then the mini books you could just glue to either some cardstock or some construction paper or something and add that to your notebook as well, and then just keep it in that way. So you don't have to do this as a lap book, it's just kind of how it's set up. And then, you know, you could always keep a full literature notebook, and so just put like divider tabs between all of the various books that they're reading, and just keep it that way. So it's really pretty flexible. I've also had some questions about how long these units take, and it's really up to you. I usually have my kids read one chapter and do one mini book per day, but you can have them do more or less. You can read every other day. You can really do whatever fits best with your schedule. Some of the good books, they're wanting to read more, so they're doing a few chapters a day, and then they'll come back and do a couple of their mini books, you know, the next day. So really you can just set these up however works best for you. But that is our latest classic literature unit. Again, it's Robinson Crusoe from the Classic Starts version. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at erica@confessionsofahomeschooler.com, or you can also visit my website, www.confessionsofahomeschooler.com as well. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you next time.